Hello, my name is Douglas Bloch. I'm an author and depression survivor. Welcome to your Depression Recovery channel, where each week we talk about practical tools and coping strategies for healing from depression and anxiety. In my two videos, my 9-month post-hospitalization update and the video called What a Difference a Year Makes, I shared the progress I have made since my hospitalization in January of 2016 for anxiety and depression. Now I would like to talk about another level of my healing. After my discharge from the hospital, I attended something called the Providence IOP, Intensive Outpatient Program. In addition to going to groups every day, I was assigned my own individual therapist. And at our first meeting, she said, "Douglas, what you will be going through is like someone recovering from a long illness. It's going to take some time to build up your strength, so be patient. It's not going to happen overnight." Susan was correct. If my depression can be likened to being in a huge earthquake, what I began to experience shortly after my discharge from the hospital was a series of what I call emotional aftershocks. These took the form of unexplained phobias that just popped into my life. While they did not paralyze me, they certainly disrupted my life and my circumstances, and now I would like to share some of them with you. So the first phobia that I experienced that came out of the blue was the fear of darkness. Now, during my research on sleep hygiene for this series of videos and for my book, I learned that the best quality of sleep happens in complete darkness. Shut all your windows, don't let any outside lights in, turn the lights off in the room, etc. And this I had done for years. But now when I tried to turn off the lights and get the room in darkness, I became really anxious. I told myself, "Come on, Douglas, you can just breathe, calm down." It didn't happen. So eventually I had to turn the light in the hallway on, and the light would slip under the door and light up the room, not a lot, but enough to calm my anxiety. And that's what I had to do to overcome this fear of darkness. My second unexplained phobia manifested as a fear of driving through tunnels. Now, one of the positive rituals I had incorporated into my life to give myself some structure and some pleasure was every Thursday to walk up to Pittock Mansion, a beautiful view of Portland, Oregon, with a good friend. But in order to get to the trailhead, I had to drive through 2 tunnels. Now, in the past, this was no problem. But now, as I would approach a tunnel, I would start to get scared. I might crash into the side of the tunnel, or I might be getting hit by an oncoming car. And I couldn't get these obsessive thoughts out of my mind. So I would slow down, slow down, slow down. My heart would race. I'd finally make it through the other tunnel, but boy, was it an ordeal. And this happened twice because I had to go through tunnel number 1, tunnel number 2. By the time I got to the trailhead, I was exhausted. The next bout of my anxiety and phobia was triggered by cycling downhill Rocky Butte. Now, Rocky Butte was a wonderful ride, 14 miles round trip up and down the butte. It was the mainstay of my recreation. I must have done it over 100 times in a few years. But now, going downhill started to scare me. I thought I would lose control of the bike every time I hit a bump. So the only way I could get downhill is if a cycling buddy went slowly right in front of me. I followed that person and finally made it down to the bottom of the hill. But without someone guiding me, I couldn't do it. Finally, my fourth phobia had to do with cycling across bridges. Now, although I have a fear of heights, also known as acrophobia, I never had a problem doing this, especially if the sidewalk was wide enough that I couldn't see the water below me. And this was the case with 2 bridges, the Broadway Bridge and the 92nd Avenue Bridge. But now, as I crossed those bridges, I would swerve back and forth, afraid I was going to fall over the railing. It made no logical sense. But the fear gripped me, so I had to walk my bike across these bridges, and I just couldn't cycle. So again, the anxiety that I felt and the fear of heights just overwhelmed me. I had no explanation of why these phobias arose, so I shared them with my therapist, and she said, "Well, I think what you've got is a little bit of post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, from the trauma you went through." When I asked her what I should do, she said, "Be patient. You will heal in time because the mind and the body are resilient and can be restored." As the second half of the year unfolded and I was 6 months into my recovery, I did begin to feel stronger and more confident. And as this happened, these phobias started to fall away. First, it was the fear of going downhill Rocky Butte. Then it was the fear of going through tunnels, then the fear of darkness, and finally the fear of cycling across bridges. Now, did this mean I was free of anxiety? Of course not. I have generalized anxiety disorder. But these phobias did resolve and no longer hindered my life. Now, why am I sharing this? I'm doing so simply to provide encouragement to any of you out there who may be experiencing similar emotional aftershocks. If this is the case, don't worry. As you start to feel better, as I did, these symptoms will gradually fall away. If you've had such a healing, I would really like to hear from you. You can leave your comment in the comments section, or you can email me. If this hasn't happened yet, take heart. Your life will gradually improve. These symptoms will gradually go away. As my therapist said, the body and the mind are resilient and can be restored. This has been Douglas Bloch. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you learned something from it. If you want to give me some feedback, you can leave your comment in the comments section, or you can email me, douglasbloch@gmail.com. And if you want to learn more about my work, during the closing credits, if you click on the photo in the upper left-hand part of your screen, you'll be taken to my subscribe page for this channel. If you click on the book image right below it, you'll be taken to healingfromdepression.com, my website. And if you click on the videos on the right side of the screen, you'll be able to watch those videos. And until we meet again, I wish you the best in your mental health recovery. And remember, your symptoms, your aftershocks, your emotional aftershocks of a depression will resolve. Thank you.